am Montesumeric Esteliada, and together with my group mates, we will discuss with you the understanding of hypermedia. But before that, let's start with the learning objectives. So at the end of the lesson, the students should be able to define what is hypermedia, explain the characteristics of hypermedia, and reflect on the integration of hypermedia in the class. From the Educational Technology 1 course, the student has already become aware of multimedia or an audiovisual package that includes more than one instructional media, such as text, graphics, audio animation, and video clip. Now in this lesson, we will get to know about hypermedia. Now, what is hypermedia all about? Hypermedia is nothing but multimedia, but this time, it is packaged as an educational software where students can access information and perform activities integrated in a virtual learning. Hypermedia is a logical extension of the term hypertext, in which graphics, audio, video, plain text, and hyperlinks intertwine to create a generally non-linear medium of information. Most educational IT applications are hypermedia, and these include tutorial software packages, knowledge web page, simulation instructional games, and learning project management, and others. The presentation of information learning activities in hypermedia is said to be sequenced in a non-linear manner, meaning that the learner may follow his path of activities, thus providing an environment of learner autonomy and thinking skills. The fact makes it therefore important to understand hypermedia in order to ensure that there is successful integration in the teaching and learning process. The flight simulator used to train pilots is an example of a highly developed hypermedia program. Observe that it simulates an environment that allows student pilots to practice authentic as is needed to be done in the real-world task, while reducing the load of the cognitive mode of learning.
The characteristics of hypermedia. There are three important features that are outstanding that characterize the hypermedia software. The first one is the learner control. So the learner makes his own decision on the path, flow of events of instructions. Second, learner wide range of navigation route. So the learners control the sequence of piece and his path depending on his ability and motivation. The third one is the variety of media. So it includes more than one media but does not necessarily use all the types of media in one presentation. Now, for the example of hypermedia, we have the multimedia encyclopedia such as Encarta and Grulers, CD-ROM books such as Just Grandma and Me, the interactive adventure games such as Myst, and the information on the World Wide Web or the WW are all types of hypermedia environments.
So, in the use of hypermedia, this following may help us to be a better teacher someday. And also, this may serve us as a proof that this following are very useful to teachers. So, what are these following? So, first is to get the learner's attention, enable for them to stay focused during the period of time of your classes or discussion. Second is to recall your prior or last discussion. This can answer the question if they learned something from your last or previous discussion. So next is to inform them your objectives in order for you to articulate their expectations so they would know precisely what is expected from them. Students will be more likely to accomplish the provided goals if the learning objectives are properly explained to them. So the fourth one is to discuss to them or to introduce what is software and its distinctive features. So this can also assist you as a teacher in presenting information more effectively. This also gives to students the opportunity to master new tools and knowledge that will help them to be prepared in the future technological advancements. So the next one is guide learning or eliciting performance. We can do this by oral recitation in order to know if they learned something. It allows students to indicate what they have observed from the discussion so far. So next is providing learning feedback. So giving students feedback entails explaining what they're doing correctly or incorrectly, with the emphasis on what your students doing correctly. When students are given an explanation of what is correct and incorrect about their work, it is most beneficial, especially to their learning. So next is to assess your students. This can be also done by giving them quizzes in order to know again if they learned something. So for the lastly, to enhance their retention and to transfer their learning.
Given all its capabilities, hypermedia still does not replace life experience and learning from nature and life. This is a saying that information and communication technology cannot replace the teacher altogether. Note that even technologists admit that the computer has an IQ of 0 and depends on what man can input or make of it. And now let's move on to the internet and the education. The learning objectives are, at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to define the concept of internet, explain the relationship of internet as a tool in teaching and learning, and lastly, reflect on the advantages of internet in education.
It is all about the internet and education internet. The internet is seen to support a new culture of learning that is based around bottom-up principle of collective exploration, play, and innovation, rather than top-down individualized instructions. The internet allows learning to take place on a many-to-many rather than one-to-many basis, thereby supporting socio-constructivist modes of learning and cognitive development that are profoundly socially and cultural in nature. Many educators would rather consider learners to benefit from the social rich environment that the internet can support. For example, it is often argued that the internet offers individuals enhanced access to sources of knowledge and expertise that exist outside of their immediate environment. Learning can therefore be conceived in terms of the capacity to know more via the internet rather than relating to the individual's accumulation of prior knowledge in terms of what is currently known.
Good day, everyone. My name is Abigail Inko, one of the member of this group. So first, what is internet? The internet is a vast network that connects computers all over the world. Through the internet, people can share information and communicate from anywhere with an internet connection. So knowing that you want to use the internet is great, but you might need a little help accessing it and finding your way around. When you start getting around the internet, there are different ways to open a web browser depending on what device you are using, but they are all basically the same. The vast sea of information now in the internet, including news and trivia, is an overwhelming challenge to whom who wish to navigate it. Every day, the net user population and the available information continue to grow, and the new ways are continuously being developed to tour the internet. The most attractive way to move around the internet is called browsing. Using a program called Browser, the user can use a mouse to point and click on screen icons to surf the internet, particularly the World Wide Web or the web. An internet is a subset of text, images, and sounds are linked together to allow users to access data or information needed. So, in my conclusion, as a student, the internet has had many impact on education, including making the possibility of a fully accredited online degree possible. It has provided students like me with the makings for both their success and their demise with online and hybrid classes. The biggest impact though has been a positive one, and it outweighs all the negative ones we have discussed. The impact is a choice. The internet has allowed students to pick their path from more than the two options of old, allowing students to choose the education path that is right for them has been an essential change in our society. The internet has also impact on our social life through it through is not an easy to quantify. For extroverts, it can boost communications even to unhealthy levels and trivialize our in-person interactions. While for introverts, it can be a saving grace, especially for people with social anxiety and other similar disorders. Online communication can be a powerful tool to develop communication skills and become more comfortable with social interactions. Because of this, we must say that the overall impact of the internet on social lives has also been positive. So, since we found the impacts on education and social interactions, the media to be positive, we can conclude that the impact of daily internet use in our life has been mostly positive, although we will need to work to overcome the challenges that this not so new anymore. Technology has brought us.
Hello everyone, this is Rufino C. Habali Jr. and now let us talk about a view of educational uses of the internet. Education software materials have also developed, both in sophistication and appeal. There is now a wider choice from rote arithmetic or grammar lessons to discovery and innovation projects. But the real possibility today is connecting with the world outside homes, classrooms, and internet cafes. Today, schools are gearing up to take advantage of the internet access where they can plug into the Library of Congress, make virtual visits to famous museums in the world, write to celebrities, and even send questions to heads of states. The impact of internet to education, it opens doorways to a wealth of information, knowledge, and educational resources, increasing opportunities for learning in and beyond the classroom. Teachers use online materials to prepare lessons, and students use them to extend their range of learning. Interactive teaching methods, supported by the internet, enable teachers to give more attention to individual students' needs and support shared learning.